Hanford man sues police for excessive force resulting in blindness. Officer Larry Leeds stopped Michael Valdez for riding his bike on the wrong side of the road, a victimless crime at best. The stop quickly turned violent after Leeds crashed into Valdez with his cruiser. Bystander video shows Leeds punch Valdez in the face. Valdez, a convicted felon for fighting with police, spent 6 years in prison and claims the experience taught him everything he needed to know about resisting the police. He was paroled 8 years ago. Officer Leeds claimed that Valdez grabbed his crucifix chain and that he believed Valdez was going to use it as a weapon. For a police officer trained to arrest people who may resist and become combative, being afraid of religious jewelry is absolutely ridiculous. Valdez claims that if he did grab his crucifix necklace, it was only to say a prayer to God for protection. He's too dangerous to be a police officer, Michael Valdez. Valdez was taken to the hospital where he was treated for head trauma and diagnosed with right globe injury with lens dislocation. The globe is just a medical term for your eyeball, and the lens is a biconvex structure behind your pupil that helps refract light to your cornea. After this exam he was told to meet with an optometrist and booked into jail. Obviously this is a serious injury, and when I was a medic in the US Army, the casualties that had injuries threatening life, limb, or eyesight were moved to the top of the triage list and organized according. Even a prisoner of war should have their injuries treated to the fullest extent before being moved to detention if possible. While in jail, the correctional officers ignored his requests for attention, repeatedly denying his requests for medical help, probably due to the fact that he was booked for fighting with an officer. The inaction of the correctional officers that operate the Kings County Jail directly resulted in Mr. Valdez's permanent blindness. The lawsuit filed seeks unspecified damages for excessive force, violation of his civil rights, destruction of evidence, battery, and denial of medical care. It also claims the Hanford Police and Kings County Jail destroyed evidence involving a bag of clothing that Valdez was carrying when he was arrested. After Valdez was booked, jail staff gave the items to the Hanford Police Department, which destroyed the items in June 2016, the lawsuit alleges. Valdez and his lawyer also want the charges dropped and Officer Leeds charged with perjury and assault, as well as an outside investigation from another law enforcement agency or grand jury. The lawsuit claims the Leeds was waiting to ambush Valdez, who was working on a fence with his neighbor at his mother's house. Both Valdez and the neighbor remember a police cruiser creep down the street before doubling back and parking. When they were done with the fence, Valdez left on his bike and Leeds began to chase him at a high rate of speed. I remember seeing the patrol car down the street, but I wasn't doing anything wrong, he said. If I was, I could have just gone into my home and shut the door. The lawsuit claims that Leeds attempted to ram him with his cruiser, causing Mr. Valdez to maneuver around him or get crushed. The lawsuit acknowledged that Mr. Valdez ignored Leeds' orders to come to his vehicle, but only because he feared for his safety after almost being ran over. Also, Mr. Valdez had not committed a crime and was not obligated to interact with Officer Leeds. Leeds continued to follow Mr. Valdez to a strip mall on 10th Street, where he then rammed Valdez with his cruiser, causing him to slam his head, sending the bike flying into the air. He then exited the cruiser and pulled his weapon on Mr. Valdez, who still had not committed a crime. The lawsuit contends that Mr. Valdez was so stunned from being hit by the vehicle that he was unable to comprehend the commands issued by Officer Leeds and never resisted his blows to the body, face, and head, but never attacked him either. The injury cost Michael Valdez his livelihood. As a result of his blindness, he is unable to work. He was a contractor before the assault but now is unable to even hammer a nail. Because I'm blind in one eye, I can't even hit a nail, which was my bread and butter. Even if found guilty of resisting arrest and drug possession, his attorneys believe he has a legitimate civil rights case for excessive force, due to the fact that Leeds used his cruiser to ram him over a bicycle infraction and proceeded to punch him. Also, Valdez never resisted in any manner that would justify the amount of violence used to subdue Mr. Valdez.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago. And so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too, because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.